it with other people.
You know it's been done. Yes. Basically a light swim. Do the whole thing twice. The whole mod will do twice. Right. The second one just will be yeah.
Greetings, class of 2022. I am recording this greetings with my heart full of joy for all that you have accomplished. Unfortunately, I'm unable to join you in person as I'm currently in isolation after testing positive for COVID. I'm feeling much better, but I certainly would not want to flout public health guidelines in front of hundreds of future public health leaders. So I'm dutifully remaining at home, watching you all on the live stream and wishing I could be with you in person. I want to thank Jane Kim, our exceptional Dean for Academic Affairs, for stepping in on short notice to take over my role in this ceremony. I want to thank our distinguished faculty and staff for being such outstanding educators and mentors, for our graduates, as well as all of the work they've done in shepherding the world through this global health crisis. I want to thank all of the proud families and friends watching today. You're a vital part of the Harvard Chan community. And above all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, the class of 2022. Thank you for jumping in head first during the most daunting public health crisis of your young lives. Many of you were notified of your acceptance to Harvard Chan just as the pandemic took hold and lockdowns began, and you chose to enroll anyway. I speak for the entire Harvard Chan community when I say we deeply admire you for it. You could easily have given up your spot here to focus on your sourdough starters or waited a few years until Zoom classes were a thing of the past. But instead, you chose to respond to the urgency of the moment. You've proved that you have what it takes to lead us through the many challenges that lie ahead, whether that's combating new and re-emerging infectious diseases, addressing the climate emergency, or fighting the racism, sexism, and other vast inequities that exist within our health systems, or, well, addressing all of the above. Many of you have already begun to tackle these issues, and every one of you is equipped to make a difference. I'd like to end where I started. My heart is full of joy as I think of all that you've accomplished and all that you will take on in the months and the years and the decades to come. Our world needs you now. Our world needs you now more than ever. So congratulations to you all, and thank you again. Over to you, Jane.
Thank you, Michelle, and get well soon. And thanks to Elizabeth Solomon for the wonderful land acknowledgement. To the class of 2022, congratulations. It might feel incongruous to celebrate in the midst of a global pandemic. As Michelle listed off all the crises you might address in your careers, I myself started to feel a bit overwhelmed. I know our hearts grow heavy when we think of the senseless shootings yesterday at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, and earlier this month at Tops Supermarket in Buffalo, New York, and the Taiwanese Presbyterian Church in Laguna Wood, California. Gun violence is surely among the top public health issues that we collectively must face. But even as we mourn the deaths, standing here today, seeing all of you in cap and gown, my overriding emotion is one of optimism. I'm optimistic because I know that all of you will be a driving force, an unstoppable force in building a healthier and better world for everyone. The class of 2022 represents 46 countries from Mauritius to Mexico, South Korea to South Sudan, 40% of you came to Boston from outside of the United States. It's been a beautiful thing to watch this international community come together to wrestle through some of the toughest public health challenges, sharing perspectives and challenging each other's assumptions as you work towards solutions that will save lives around the world. You've investigated how factors like access to housing and education shape health outcomes for people living with HIV/AIDS in rural Nigeria. You've worked to help improve access to syphilis treatment and diagnosis for pregnant people in Brazil. And you've built a mobile app that will help refugee women all over the world take health into their own hands. My hope is that you'll continue to work together on these problems long after you leave this campus, that even as you disband as classmates, you'll consider each other lifelong partners in a global effort to improve health. As most of you know, we lost a giant in the public health community this year who embodied this ethos, Harvard's own Paul Farmer. A physician by training, Paul dedicated his remarkable and all too short life to improving healthcare for the most vulnerable people in the world, in places like Haiti, Sierra Leone, and the Navajo Nation. And he did it all with an enormous sense of empathy that came from embedding himself in the communities he served so that he could better understand his patients' needs and their lives. Paul knew how to effect change, even within some of the world's most deeply entrenched systems. And in 2012, he shared with another graduating class the secret to his success. With rare exceptions, he said, all of your most important achievements on this planet will come from working with others, or in a word, partnership. 10 years and one pandemic later, his message still resonates deeply. If COVID-19 has taught us one thing, it is that public health is global health. As UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres put it in May of 2020, in an interconnected world, none of us is safe unless all of us are safe. We believe that kind of safety will only be possible if we take on a more global approach to problem solving. Take the discovery of the Omicron variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus in Gaborone, Botswana. Sikulile Moyo is the director of the Botswana-Harvard AIDS Institute Partnership Lab, a long-standing collaboration between the Botswana government and the Harvard Chan School. When the pandemic began, the lab was able to quickly pivot to test for and sequence COVID-19. In mid-November, Dr. Moyo noticed an unusual pattern developing while sequencing COVID samples, a number of mutations that looked very different from the Delta variant that had been circulating for months. He shared his findings with colleagues across the border in South Africa. They too found the new sequence in their local samples, and they quickly alerted the rest of the world that this new, highly contagious variant was on the move. Now just imagine what would be possible if that kind of international public health partnership was the rule and not the exception. If that kind of health infrastructure existed in every country around the world. That would require us to invest in places that have traditionally been ignored, or worse, places that are too often thought of as the source of the problem rather than as part of the solution. And that is exactly what we must do. Because in this globalized world, a handful of rich countries cannot be the only ones with equipment, resources, and agency to sequence viruses or manufacture vaccines or make new discoveries. And that kind of sea change in how we approach public health, that is going to be up to you, our next generation of leaders. It's up to you to make sure that what we've learned in this pandemic isn't quickly forgotten, that your work isn't confined to disciplines or sectors or borders, that you seek out and invest in ideas from all over the world. Over the next few decades, many of you will be part of developing the solution to the public health crisis that is climate change, and I hope you'll apply the lessons of this pandemic. As the father of environmental justice, Dr. Bob Bullard says, the populations in the communities and nations that have contributed least to the problem feel the pain first, worst, and longest. These communities are also leading the charge towards a solution. In fact, a recent article in Nature called the Global South the climate movement's unsung leader, despite the fact that it emits only a fraction of the world's greenhouse gases. Coastal communities in Africa are building seaweed farms to capture carbon, a powerful ocean-based innovation that comes with the added benefit of new jobs and food sources for local communities. Farmers in countries like Brazil are implementing micro-irrigation techniques and other more resource-efficient ways to grow food. And in the face of population growth and resource depletion, many countries across the Global South are investing significantly in reproductive health services and seeing higher adoption of voluntary family planning as a result. But as with any crisis of this magnitude, we're not going to solve climate change without deep partnership between and within North and South, between academia and government, between NGOs and the private sector. These public-private academic partnerships are absolutely essential. What we do and whether we do it together will set the course for human health for the next century and beyond. I'm going to share an old quote from our keynote speaker, Dr. Mempila Rampili. "My journey is the journey of a searcher who never gives up dreaming of a better tomorrow," she said. Many of us here at this ceremony share that restless, determined, steely-eyed optimism. And perhaps more than any other class in a generation, the class of 2022 is ready to meet the challenges and opportunities of this changing world. No matter what direction your career takes you, we feel confident that you have everything that you need to think critically and find solutions to our most complex problems, not the least of which is a group of smart, capable collaborators from 45 other countries around the world and counting. So thank you, and again, congratulations. I am now pleased to introduce our student speaker, Sumantra Monty Ghosh. Yeah. Monty, or more appropriately, Dr. Ghosh, is an MD on the faculty of both the University of Alberta and the University of Calgary in Canada. His clinical and academic focus has been on substance use disorders, harm reductions, and populations experiencing homelessness. Dr. Ghosh came to Harvard Chan for an MPH to further develop his research and policy skills. He was able to put those to immediate use, working to create safe and humane approaches to caring for individuals experiencing homelessness during the COVID-19 pandemic. His commitment to serving every human being with dignity and respect make Dr. Ghosh a true role model for all of us in public health. I'm delighted to welcome him to the podium for his remarks. Monty, take it away.
Thanks, everybody. Greetings, Dean Kim, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests. Class of 2022. On my way to our festivities, I took this quick COVID-19 test. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in swabbing to protect our fellow classmates, friends, and families. Many of us badly want to bring some extra guests to today's ceremonies, but I can say with certainty that COVID is one guest we all definitely did not want to bring. Here in my hand, I'm holding a marvelous invention which allows us to celebrate together with a greater sense of safety and security. It's one of many innovations that we have seen during the pandemic, but it makes me wonder if it furthers the gap between the haves and the have-nots. At $20, it is likely affordable for most of us Harvard grads, but its price tag may be out of reach for many. For my patient Sandy, $20 would be the difference between a reasonable meal or rummaging through scraps. Sandy lives in a shelter struggling to meet his everyday needs. Today, if our COVID test is positive, we are able to isolate at home. But for Sandy, there is no home to isolate in. On any given night, Sandy sleeps on a mat next to 1,400 other individuals, many of whom are not masked. If he chooses to avoid COVID by staying outside, he deals with violence and crime, a risk to his personal safety. While outside, he also deals with the elements. When our shelter was in outbreak, Sandy chose to sleep outdoors during a cold snap. A week after, he came to show me his blackened toes, frostbit and numb. The look in Sandy's eyes told me he knew he would lose his toes, but seeing the gangrene creeping up to his ankles, I knew he would lose his feet. While the world responded to COVID with brilliant solutions at a breathtaking pace, it left Sandy behind, whereas inequity literally jeopardized life and limb. One of my favorite phrases is innovation for equity. Whether it be methodological innovations, new concepts, policies, or technology, innovation has brought greater equity to our world. Take the impact of smartphones around medical accessibility. With FaceTime, struggling individuals no longer need to take a half day off of work or a child sitter to make a specialist appointment. Smartwatches monitor our heart rate and our breathing, alerting us to dangers before we even feel symptoms. Mail-in kits allow those in rural communities to screen for colon cancer without driving long distances to reach a lab. Simply said, innovation can change everything. But while innovation has created equity, often it is unintentional. The motivation to create disruption was for profits, convenience, or growth against competition, but not necessarily to meet the needs of society's most vulnerable. We failed to innovate around the principles of social justice and economic equity. There are few innovations geared towards affordable housing and managing food insecurity. We have seen rapid innovation around work-from-home solutions, but for some, is home even safe? Where was the innovation to protect those who could not physically distance while working in factories and meatpacking plants? What innovations could have spared Sandy the horrible choice between COVID and his feet? Innovation can sadly perpetuate inequity. Rapid COVID vaccine development exemplified our capacity for creation, but the pandemic also highlighted how various parts of our world were unable to obtain them. This isn't new. Medications for hepatitis C and HIV are often cost prohibitive for much of the developing world to afford. We know of clinical drug trials structured without proper enrollment of certain racial groups. This therefore questions the drug's efficacy and potentially reduces already limited treatment options for racialized communities. As new grads, there is an opportunity to change this narrative. Innovation must be driven with the philosophy of improving equity, not an accidental byproduct of it. We must understand how structural racism, sexism, and classism impact the development and distribution of innovative solutions. We must ensure innovation remains the great equalizer in medicine, not the cause of further health disparities. And we must listen to the voices of those who experience inequity, because they often find their own creative solutions which can be learned and adopted. As we come out of one public health crisis, innovation will help us respond to new emerging challenges. Many of you graduating today will be involved in creating solutions for new problems. Our education has helped us build a foundation to tackle these problems with compassionate leadership, collective strength, and resilience. As we move forward with our careers and witness new advancements, we must prioritize equity with the doctrine to lift the most vulnerable up. We have the responsibility to ensure that Harvard Chan's core values are enshrined within each new innovation, ensuring that health remains a fundamental right for all, that we improve health quality and delivery, and we empower individuals like Sandy to make sound health decisions. To the class of 2022, over the last 2 years, we have lived public health in our day-to-day lives just as much as we have studied it. And as we leave today with diplomas under our arms, I challenge us to intentionally and provocatively drive innovation for equity to create a world we know is possible. Thank you. Congrats to all of you today, and get well, Dean Williams.
Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. We are so proud to call you almost an alumnus of the Harvard Chan School. It is now my deep honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Mempila Rampili. Dr. Rampili has had a long and distinguished career as a medical doctor, academic, business leader, and political leader. She was a founder of the Black Consciousness Movement in South Africa and has been a fearless champion of the South African people for decades. She has also been a highly effective champion for the world. Dr. Rampili is co-president of the Club of Rome, a global coalition that promotes holistic solutions to planetary threats with a strong focus on building a more sustainable and equitable future by reimagining global, social, environmental, and economic systems. She's also a co-founder of ReimagineSA, which works to catalyze systemic change across multiple domains that intersect with public health, including emotional well-being and youth empowerment. Dr. Rampili once said that she could not imagine sitting still when there was work to be done. I've been an activist now for 50 years, she said. I still don't give up. And the reason is simple. If I give up, what do I do? I'm not prepared to sit down and fold my hands. So she presses on, fighting for a better world for all of us. We are fortunate to have her leading that fight, and we are fortunate as well to have her here to speak with us today. Welcome, Dr. Rampili.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share this very special moment with you all, particularly to the class of 2022. Thank you also for affording me the opportunity to visit your beautiful city, Boston, where I first cast my vote as a citizen of newly freed South Africa in 1994. Many of you and your peers in other universities have waited 2 years to celebrate successful graduation. Great occasions are worth waiting for. Congratulations to your parents, guardians, and others who supported you on your tough journey, made much tougher by COVID, the ultimate disruptor. You are graduating at an historic moment. The world has received and will continue to receive harsh lessons from Mother Nature, reminding us about the critical interconnectedness and interdependence of everything with everything else in the web of life. Our actions as a human race have brought multiple planetary emergencies we are experiencing upon ourselves. We can no longer ignore the science that has, over many years, clearly demonstrated a causal link between climate change and its emergencies and the overconsumption patterns and greed that drive our failure to share essential life-giving resources equitably. Pandemics are signifiers of broken sacred barriers between us and zoonotic pathogens in our biosphere. We are increasingly encroaching on ecosystems not habitable for humans. The coronavirus is probably one of the most visible first of many such pandemics that will challenge us unless we review our approaches to life as a human race amongst other forms of life in nature. Conflicts and wars are largely the direct result of the growing inequities within and between countries, as well as within the global community. Inequality is expensive for both wealthy and poor people. We all pay the price of violating the essence of being human, which is interconnectedness and interdependence within the web of life. Our global governance architecture, including the United Nations, the Bretton Woods institutions such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, and the World Trade Organizations, are creatures of the post-World War II world turned into tools to promote globalization of trade and industry. The above institutions have embedded in them the protection and perpetuation of the dominance of World War II victors through the fostering of neoliberal economics upon the entire world that has become hyper-financialized. Finance is meant to be a tool of exchange of real goods and services, but the global finance system today has become the tail that wags the economic dog. A colleague of mine at the Club of Rome, Vice President Carlos Alvarez Pereira, refers to our current global economic system as neo-feudal. It rewards first movers who then extract rents from all of us, making global equity all the more difficult to secure. It is a rentier economic system that is designed to benefit a few at the cost of many. The core question I would like us to ponder on this special day is, how are you, as a generation of public health graduates, going to lead at the personal, the professional, and the political levels with the next generations in mind? How are you to promote tackling the growing inequities around us? How are you to approach your careers to ensure that you explore leading with a different mission in mind? Franz Fanon, an Algerian psychiatrist, inspired us as student activists in the late 1960s with his deep understanding of the impact of colonial conquest on racism in relationships such as the relationship you have with yourself, your family, your community, and the wider society. He helped us understand the importance of liberating the self from inferiority complexes imposed by racist supremacists as a prerequisite to becoming high-impact leaders. We came to understand that mental slavery is more powerful than physical slavery because its victims come to believe that they deserve no better than oppression. He helped us to embrace our authentic selves as Black and proud free agents of the change we wanted to see in the world. I hope to inspire you today with the poignancy of Franz Fanon's words that inspired us in our struggle for freedom. He said, "Each generation must out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill or betray it. We were an obscure bunch of young people from a diversity of backgrounds, from the marginalized majority Black population then. We all experienced scarcity of material resources, yet enjoyed an abundance of love within the Ubuntu cultural philosophy. That was the essence of family and community life. We were materially poor, but spiritually and emotionally rich. We managed to support one another, to go through the self-liberation process of the Black consciousness movement, to become Black and proud activists, ready to shape the future as professional doctors, lawyers, teachers, nurses, and much more. Consciousness of your worth as a person is the most important aspect of liberation of your full humanity. Liberation of your full humanity manifests as freedom from fear. Fear of authority, fear of police brutality, fear of prison, and ultimately, fear of death. Fear is the prison that keeps people from living out their missions in life. Fear of death is totally irrational. It makes one vulnerable without protecting one from the source of fear, which is death itself. Fear enhances our vulnerability to the very sources of fear. Bullies in any school go for those who cower at their sight. As young Black activists, we committed ourselves to die fighting for freedom, or fight until freedom becomes a reality in the lives of all citizens. What mission has your generation set for yourselves? How high are your ambitions to fulfill that mission? How prepared are you to be the change you would like to see in the world by living and leading differently? Your country, the USA, and mine, South Africa, are yet to fully liberate themselves to live the lofty ideals of our respective national constitutions. The greatest obstacle to rising to our greatness as citizens and leaders of our great countries is the insufficiently acknowledged wounds and scars of our violent historical legacies: slavery, racism, sexism, and other chauvinisms that are embedded in our nation's psyches. These wounds and scars are reflected in justifications for inequities between and amongst our fellow citizens. Violence against the other diminishes the violator as well as the one violated. We have all the signs and symptoms that neuroscientists identify in those who have suffered multi-generational trauma: anger, violence. You've just been talking about the shooting of a child, of other children, and conflicts within and between people at the personal, professional, and political levels. Our countries still have huge unfinished business. We are yet to establish national healing processes to liberate the inner persons in each and every one of us to become fully whom we were created to become. Free people able to shape the future we aspire to. Such national healing processes would enable our nations to be fully free to proclaim the self-evident truths that all people are created equal, that all humans are wired to live in interconnected and interdependent spaces that affirm the principles of Ubuntu. The I am because we are. Many of you who supported the struggle for freedom in South Africa may well ask, what has gone wrong over the last 28 years after what many characterize as a miracle transition to democracy? What went wrong is precisely the characterization of our national transition as a miracle. Miracles are conjured up by magicians or miracle makers. In our case, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, our first president, fitted the role of magician perfectly, despite his repeated protestations that no single person can claim authorship of the successful struggle for liberation. The world saw in Mandela a magician who transcended the ugliness of his imprisonment and the oppression of his people to negotiate in good faith with his jailers for a political settlement. The logic was that dismantling the fundamental socioeconomic structures of a society designed for inequity would be left to the post-apartheid government. Conditions of behind-the-scenes negotiations for the ideal political settlement led to expectations from the majority of citizens that their role was that of spectators in the unfolding magic story. Citizens became spectators in an arena in which magic was being created. The enormous sacrifices of citizens in my country, of youth, workers, women, professionals, faith-based leaders, and civic activists that created the conditions for the negotiations were all discounted. The party of the magic maker, the African National Congress, claimed full credit for the efforts that brought white supremacists to the negotiating table. State capture, the continuing extraction of state resources perfected by colonial settlers, is the logical self-reward by people who claim to be our liberators, but have yet to attain self-liberation. Self-liberation would have emotionally and spiritually connected those in government today with their fellow citizens in the spirit of Ubuntu, making the theft of state resources an unimaginable betrayal of the dream of freedom. You now have the opportunity as young professionals and citizens to become active citizens of your great democracy, to create conditions for all your compatriots to have the courage to dream again of the land of the free and the home of the brave. You have the opportunity to actively transform your country into the country of your dreams. Imagine the impact this would have on relationships within your country at the personal, professional, and political levels. Imagine not needing to shout that Black Lives Matter, because all lives would really matter. Imagine not having to chase the rat race, because all people would be people to whom you are inextricably connected and interdependent, not rats against whom you are competing. At the end of the day, life is about learning anew what our essence as human beings is. Our mission in life is to travel into our inner selves, to liberate ourselves from the trappings of modernity that define success in terms of having and not being. COVID has shown us that what matters in life is life itself. Life is sustained by the quality of our relationships that make us more resilient, as we saw so vividly during COVID. Material possessions mean very little when our well-being is compromised. COVID has also taught us that well-being for some is well-being for none. Life demands that we commit to promoting well-being for all as the measure of full human development and a better guarantor of global equity for a healthy planet. As graduates of the Harvard Chan School of Public Health, you have a unique opportunity to redefine your missions as citizens, as professionals, and as leaders to shape a future you can be proud to bequeath to your children's children. Leveraging the opportunity into a generational mission is the challenge you need to confront today. There can never be a better moment for you to make history and to shape the kind of future generations yet to be born would be proud to inherit. I thank you.
Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you so much to Dr. Rampili for the insightful and inspiring words. Such an honor. Okay, I know that you're anxious for your diplomas. You will get them soon. We have one more speaker that I'd like to introduce you to, and that is Dr. Trishan Panch, who is our alumni speaker. Dr. Panch has been a leader of the Harvard Chan community for several years now. He is a primary care physician and digital health entrepreneur. He co-founded WellFrame, a digital health company that uses technology to improve chronic disease management, and co-led the company from inception in 2012 to acquisition in 2021. He's also worked extensively in Asia and Europe, both as a clinician and health systems development expert. Dr. Panch is president of our Alumni Association, which I hope many of you will join in the near future, and also teaches both at the Harvard Chan School and at MIT. Trishan, welcome back to another Harvard Chan commencement.
Graduates of the class of 2022, proud parents and families, honored guests, friends, esteemed faculty and staff, Honorable Dean Kim, and distinguished commencement speaker, Dr. Mempila Rampili. Welcome. As president of the Alumni Association, I would like to welcome you to the family of alumni of the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. We are a 13,000-person strong group representing the entire spectrum of public health. You are joining this community at a unique moment in history when the broad relevance of public health has never been clearer. Dean Williams has helped us identify the frontiers of public health, large intersectoral trends that affect everyone, whatever industry or geography one is in, and whatever one's political persuasion. Multimorbidity and aging, the corrosive impacts of structural and physical violence, confronting climate change, cultivating well-being and nutrition, and conquering pandemics. The latter issue, of course, has been brought into sharp focus in the last few years. Though these challenges are broad and deep, there have never been more tools to address these issues, from machine learning to a new science of teamwork. And yet, the most important resource in the public health toolkit remains its people, you. It is with immense joy that we gather here to celebrate the renewal of this most precious resource today. Our diversity is our strength. As Dean Williams remarked, our Harvard Chan community is committed to pursuing excellence in a way that honors all contributions and seeks to elevate, not erase, all backgrounds. We won't always get everything right, but we will always keep at it. For it is only by embracing this diversity and collaborating with open hearts and minds that we can tackle the world's most formidable problems. So, in this perfect moment, I would like to offer an intentionally imperfect thought that, though intuitive, I fear will otherwise get lost in the mix. That in spite of your considerable intelligence and extensive training, you will continue to be flawed beings, like we all are. No one is normal. In fact, the only people who appear normal are people who we don't actually yet really know. It is therefore vital to have compassion for yourself and for your colleagues in your inevitable successes and your equally inevitable, but much more infrequent failures. Also, I would like you to reflect on the fact that over and above our technical skills, we are all also idealists and lovers. Lovers of a more perfect rendering of this imperfect world. And so to conclude, I would like to read a few lines on this subject that I adapted from The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. A book about a painting, but also maybe more metaphorically, about the beauty of public health and the love and ideals on which it is based. Insofar as love is immortal, and it is, each of you now has a small, bright, immutable part in that immortality. It exists, and it will keep on existing, and each of you now add your own love to the history of people who have loved beautiful things, and looked out for them, and pulled them from the fire, and sought them when they were lost, and tried to preserve them and save them, while passing them on literally from hand to hand, singing out brilliantly from the wreck of time to the next generation of lovers and the next. Thank you, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Trishan. I know Dean Kim said only one more speaker, but we have awards. My name is Erin Driver-Lynn, and I'm the Dean for Education. And I have the distinct pleasure to announce this year's faculty, staff, and student award winners. Most of you parents and guests are eagerly awaiting the name of your graduate, and I know each of you as graduates are awaiting that. But if we don't want to wait still longer, I'm going to ask that you hold your applause for each of these awardees. And let me encourage you to just save it all up. And at the very end, Let yourself be very wild and raucous in your applause for each of the award winners. I'll first announce the faculty and staff awards, then the student awards. And for most, I'll offer just a couple of quotes from nomination letters or other relevant sources. The first award is the Roger L. Nichols Excellence in Teaching Award. This is a prestigious teaching award that honors many years of excellent teaching and mentoring at the school. This year, the Nichols Award goes to Ankur Punja, Associate Professor of Health Decision Science in the Department of Health Policy and Management. Here are a few quotes from the many who wrote to nominate him. Dr. Panja is an incredible teacher. I learned so much that is incredibly applicable to all areas of public health and social policy. His passion for decision science is infectious. Ankur is knowledgeable, patient, accessible, and takes a genuine interest in learners' comprehension. Ankur is so lively and energetic. He made me want to come to class. Next, the Executive and Continuing Professional Education Excellence in Teaching Award, which goes this year to Rafat Atun, Professor of Global Health Systems, Department of Global Health and Population. His nominees write, whether the audience is senior government officials, corporate leaders, NGO executives, physicians, nurses, or community health workers, Dr. Atun is a master teacher of the highest order. He makes the study of global health systems understandable, meaningful, and compelling. For Harvard Chan Executive Education, he is our person for all seasons. Every year, teaching citations are chosen for those faculty who have had especially high course evaluations over several times teaching their courses. This year, the 3 teaching citations go to 4 individuals. Albert Hoffman, Chair of the Department of Epidemiology and the Stephen Biko Family Professor of Public Health and Clinical Epidemiology. Here are a couple of representative quotes. Dr. Hoffman is an amazing professor. He consistently stops to ask for comments, questions, and feedback. He kindly reminds students that this is a learning space. He is passionate and knowledgeable and approachable. Bert is the best. He expertly pulls on his previous experience to make the class relevant and interesting. He is amazing at engaging the class and making everyone feel comfortable. Co-instructors Rocio Hurtado, Assistant Professor in the Department of Immunology and Infectious Diseases, and Edward Thomas Ryan, Professor in the Department of Immunology and Infectious Diseases. Rocio and Ed treat each student with respect and as unique. Every student is given a chance to express their opinion, to share their experience, and to ask questions. They are great teachers. And, by the way, they also created a fun learning environment. Shobha Ramanathan, Assistant Professor of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences. I love Shobha's energy. She put together a great course. I learned a lot about implementation science, and I look forward to applying that work in the future. Shobha has a good balance of lecturing and asking questions. She really loves her subject. She is an incredible instructor. She even rearranges the curriculum to meet the needs of students. Students are invited each year to nominate individuals for mentoring awards. This year, we received over 40 nominations, which is wonderful, but it was hard to choose these 3 exceptional mentors from among them. Emily Aveling, Research Scientist, Department of Health Policy and Management. Emily is an extraordinarily brilliant researcher and teacher who puts in extra time and effort. She presents her ideas in ways that students can understand and implement, with specific guidance that makes her input actionable. When she provides feedback, our general reaction is, wow, that was really insightful, but it is the advice and the coaching that makes her exceptional. Jamie Elizabeth Hart, Associate Professor of Environmental Health in the Department of Environmental Health. Jamie leads our lab with great intellect and even greater kindness. She leads by example, by displaying positivity, hard work, and passion for good science. She inspires all those around her to support and uplift each other. Those of us benefiting from Jamie's mentorship know she will leave an incredible legacy at Harvard Chan in creating public health leaders of the future. Lorelei Mucci, Professor of Epidemiology, Department of Epidemiology. Lorelei always goes above and beyond for her students. She is one of the most supportive, caring, and kind people I have ever met. Lorelei has taken the time to get to know my interests and allowed me to pose important and interesting research questions on my own. I'm thrilled to have Lorelei as my mentor because I know there is nothing I can't achieve without her supporting me. The Sastry Award for Outstanding Teaching in Public Health is a new award this year. This award is designed to honor faculty who have, through excellent teaching, inspired students to reach their public health goals. We have 2 inaugural recipients of the Sastry Award. Jesse Boardman-Bump, lecturer on global health policy, Department of Global Health and Population, and executive director of the Takemi program. If the purpose of education is to challenge us to think critically and erode ignorance, Jesse has served that purpose brilliantly. Jesse is an incredible educator. He challenges his students to think critically about the world and structures of power that govern us. He inspires me to be a more thoughtful and grounded public health leader. I have never encountered a teacher who has truly expanded my worldview and advanced the way I think. I am certain that Jesse's teachings will stick with me the rest of my life. Nancy Turnbull, Senior Lecturer on Health Policy, Department of Health Policy and Management, and Senior Associate Dean for Educational Programs. I would not be where I am without Nancy. She understands that HSPH can feel a bit intimidating at first for many students, especially BIPOC students, and she provides the tools for people to feel confident of their worth and expertise. Nancy inspired me to view myself as a public health leader and seek opportunities that I would not have done on my own. I aspire to be like Nancy one day, to advocate for health equity and to be an authentic partner for many. She is the ultimate advocate, connector, mentor, and role model in public health. Now let me turn to our 3 staff awards. The Sarah K. Wood Award for Outstanding Staff Performance was established by friends and admirers of Sarah K. Wood in tribute to her many years of exceptional service to Harvard University. This year, the award goes to Jamie Mushunu, Assistant Director of Operations and Strategy in the Department of Social and Behavioral Science. Jamie has shown incredible drive and initiative in expanding the portfolio of activities at the Lee Kum-Shung Center for Health and Happiness. These activities would not be possible without her dedication and persistence. She prioritizes diversity and inclusion in the field of positive health and is an advocate for thinking critically on how to reach historically underrepresented scholars when hiring for internships, as well as inviting more senior scholars to speak at our seminar series. She focuses on helping others succeed, encouraging them to pursue their unique strengths and interests. The Community Engagement Award represents a unique opportunity for students and community members to recognize faculty, researchers, and staff who have served as a source of inspiration by demonstrating a commitment to improving health and well-being in the communities where they work. This year's Community Engagement Award goes to Lumas Joseph Hilaire, Assistant Dean for Population Health Management and Health Equity Education and Visiting Lecturer, Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Dr. Hilaire's research aims to support universities developing systems for effective community engagement in local communities. Just a year into his role, Dr. Hilaire has spent significant time meeting with the Harvard Chan Student Association and community members to listen carefully to their concerns about the barriers to greater community engagement. His expertise has been invaluable. The Staff Recognition Award was created by the Harvard Chan Student Association to recognize and acknowledge the importance of non-classroom and extracurricular activities on the lives of students. This year, the award goes to Amy De La Cerda, Senior Program Coordinator in the Office for Student Affairs. Amy is amazing at coordinating complex events and is very thorough and organized in her approach. Her passion and dedication is beyond words. All of us in clubs and organizations at Chan thank Amy for making fun and successful events possible. And now on to the Student Awards, the last category of awards. And if you want to be counting them down, there are 8. First, the Gareth M. Green Award for Excellence in Public Health goes to Samuel Anthony Johnston, Master of Public Health. Samuel's work to provide sustainable and equitable healthcare access for the Charm community in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, supported a marginalized Muslim minority population which suffers worse health outcomes compared with the broader majority Buddhist Cambodian society. Samuel undertook a strategic analysis of Hospitals Beyond Boundaries, which provides vital public health services to this unique and vulnerable community. In addition, he expanded access to health care for children and families through a local school, developed a culturally sensitive maternal health clinical model, and facilitated the formation of a community coalition. The Edgar Haber Award in Biological Sciences goes to Kevin Ma, Doctor of Philosophy candidate. Kevin's accomplishments during his PhD leave a broad legacy for public health, from discovering new genetic modulators of antibiotic resistance to developing a new approach to tracking infectious disease trends in populations. His work is immediately applicable to public health in its findings, and his methodological innovations will continue to be used by researchers and public health officials to answer their own sets of questions. Kevin is brilliant, dedicated, full of integrity, and driven by a desire to do good. The Robert B. Reed Prize for Excellence in Biostatistical Science goes to 3 students, Tony Chen, Jenna Landy, and Zeben Wang, all candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy. This one does not come with quotes, or maybe the quotes are statistical equations, which I cannot read. The Marianne Wesleyan Resnick Biological Sciences and Public Health, BPH, Student Service Award goes jointly to Samantha Giffen and Caroline Dana Kerouac, both candidates for Doctor for Philosophy. Together, Caroline and Samantha have created a BPH culture of mental health and well-being, including designing and leading events for Countway Care's Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in 2018 and 2019, creating and involving BPH Harvard students in AFSP suicide prevention, fundraising and awareness events, and campaigning for BPH student completion of the Hills Mental Health Surveys. They have also informally mentored BPH and HSPH students, hosted recruiting events, helped students across G years with fellowship proposals, and have helped run the BPH Data Club and IIID Journal Club. The Dr. Fang Ching Sun Memorial Award goes to Abrania Mamero Hernandez, candidate for Doctor for Philosophy. Abrania's outstanding track record as a minority public health researcher on nutrition, environmental sustainability, and health equity in minority communities exemplifies the Sun Award's canon of commitment to promoting the health of vulnerable people. The James H. Ware Award for Achievement in the Practice of Public Health goes to Patience Simbawera Saka, Master of Public Health. Patience's Stories for Impact tell the real-life stories of survivors of widowhood rights in Bolgatana, Ghana, where women endure physical and emotional violence, confinement, poor standards of hygiene, food and sleep deprivation, sexual abuse, and repossession of assets by late husband kinsmen with serious economic, reproductive, and mental health implications. The turnout of participants eager to share their experiences of widowhood rights was unprecedented. Patience created animated stories to protect the identities of these women, as well as to promote easy sharing across social media platforms. Her work will raise awareness, initiate constructive dialogue, and drive change. 2 individuals have been awarded the Student Recognition Award. First, Davy Dang, Master of Science. Davy leveraged both his long-standing passion for public health as well as newly obtained skills in biostatistics to make an impact in multiple aspects of public health over the past 2 years. He led the Public Health Equity Division of the nonprofit organization Get Us PPE for a year and a half, during which he matched hundreds of thousands of life-saving personal protective equipment to populations that were largely ignored by other national efforts, using his computational skills to design a logistically efficient matching algorithm. This work led to a citation from the White House in 2021. Ivy Fengyu Lin, Master of Public Health, has also received a Student Recognition Award. Ivy's effective leadership and service to the Harvard Chan student body led to her being voted unanimously to fill the position of Vice President of Student Life. In that role, Ivy organized the Chan School's first exam de-stressing yoga event, bringing in star health policy professor Dr. John McDonough to lead the class, drawing dozens of participants and dozens more curious onlookers on the HMS Quad. She also undertook extensive planning for bus transportation and coordination with Yale to organize the Harvard-Yale football game tailgate. This, of course, brought great joy to throngs of students. Finally, teaching assistant awards are given to individuals who have been recognized through student evaluations year after year during the time while they themselves have been students. This year, 5 individuals received Teaching Assistant Awards. In alphabetical order, Elizabeth Laurel Henschel, Doctor of Philosophy candidate, and here are a couple of representative quotes. Elizabeth was brilliant, kind, extremely accessible, and provided tangible, structured feedback. She helped foster my continued interest and excitement. So responsive, incredibly helpful, very patient, amazing TA. Bethany Kotler, Doctor of Philosophy candidate. Bethany brings so much energy and passion and is really good at facilitating class discussion. She was incredibly thoughtful, knowledgeable, and open-minded, and has an infectious passion for the topic. She taught in a way that promoted learning and engagement. It was a joy to learn from her. Jessica Liu, Doctor of Philosophy candidate. Jessica is a good communicator, easy to talk to, and gave clear and concrete feedback. Jessica helped all the students to fully understand the class materials and proceed with every assignment. She is the most dedicated and helpful TA that I've ever met. Anna Siefkis, Doctor of Philosophy candidate. Anna explains complex topics in accessible ways. Anna is the best teaching assistant in the universe. She can answer all our questions clearly. She is the best. Alejandro Smulvitz, Doctor of Philosophy candidate. The best TA in my life. Alejandro's patience to explain and answer things that students might not fully understand was exceptional, simply the best, and simply one of the nicest TAs I've ever had. Now, please join me in congratulating all our award winners. You can be loud. It is my pleasure at long last to introduce dear colleague Maritza Hernandez, our Associate Dean for Student Services, who will read the names of the doctoral degree candidates while the departmental chair robes the candidates, and who will then read the names of the master's candidates.
Professor Flaminia Gaturucha will be hooting the following doctoral candidates from the program in Biological Sciences in Public Health. Lucas Bayon. Samantha Giffen. Edward Buford Irvine IV. Caroline Carioke. Kevin Ma. Dr. Heather Maddy, Department of Biostatistics, will be hooting the following doctoral candidates from that department. Mole Leo. Andy Shi. Professor Eric Rim of the Department of Population Health Sciences will be hooding the following doctor candidates from that department. Ajibola Ibrahim Abioje. Victoria Lauren Cowger. Melissa Pfeiffer. Ashley Gripper. Inga Homdahl. Sophia Veronica Hua. Naslin Fatima Khan. Hansol Kim. Tiffany Lemon. Michael Leon. Alexander Levis. Min Leo. Yoshi Leo. Caletso McAfee. Abrania Marrero. Xing Yang Xiu. Lisa Beth Rockoff. Linda Powers Tomaso. Catherine Scott Tomshaw. Emily Sarah Unger. Cecilia Vu. Sinan Wang. Professor David Williams of the Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences will be hooding the following doctoral candidates from that department. Alain Agarono. Reek Segrest, Director of Doctor of Public Health Program, will be hooding the following DRPH candidates. Ivan Gabriel Busova. Akosia Dagwa. Griffin Jones. Christine Kulupe Kendall. Isha Nirola. Dominic Rollo. Masters in Public Health Management. Sorry. And now it is my pleasure to present the master's degree candidates. Master in Healthcare Management. Mustafa Mohammed Abdallah. Anita Afsali. Ahmad Alexander. Naive Yohani. Nafa Shaiban. Go. Li Xing Chiu. Jose Armando Sampar Cortez. Mimi Weschendorf Frandillo. Steve Gallet. Chris Guyamagami. David Len Gibbs. Seth Gorski, sorry. Mona Harrison. Moon Hong. Lee Kaplan. Jonathan Gore Keshner. Adam Kibble. Silas Lai. Joseph Rosano. Ulrich Valdemar Simmons. Walila Tarife. Susan Shu Wali. Henry Wilson. Master of Arts, Biostatistics. Jenna Landy. Arpan Sakar. Daniel Shu. Master of Science, Biostatistics. Natalie Averkamp. Lisa Bibel. Abigail Derton. Ligia Flores. Xingyu Quan. Shiyan Hao. Bridget Harris. Xiaoxin Ho. Paul Licht. Liu Jio Chen. Yu Lu. Anja Shahu. Zainab Shuatan. Kirsty Turnbull. Wenyi Wang. Xian Chong. Lachia Cho. Yunan Shao. Master of Science, Computational Biology and Quantitative Genetics. Sean Bai. Shu Yi Chen. Su Juen Chen. Julie Alexia Diaz. Xie Ying Huan. Yichen Hua. Jieyang Driyun. Tian Li. Pavitra Nagarajan. Tishia Li Pong. Nick Ramirez. Yu Sun. Rafael Tubiena. Xishen Huan. Matthew West. Ning Estelle Yao. Yao Qi Xuan. Siwiya. Tian Shosho. Jing Reizhong. Jacqueline Shu. Master of Science, Environmental Health. Maha Ahmed. Jennifer Dai. Yu Ho Hu. Jofi Lee. Jessica Lin. Jenny Lytel Sternberg. Himaya Nagir Eddy. Shivana Parikh. Jessica Schiff. Marjorie Segule. Catherine Uriarte. Emma Wilcox. Sei Wing Shang. Master of Science, Epidemiology. Francisco Jesus Barrera Flores. Lorian Buwan Pro. Alina Sheng. Flora Chung. Alan Espinosa Marron. Justin Farmer. Carla Elizabeth Flores Guzman. Kaylin Franklin. Shay Gant. Aya Hamding. What's her name? Chi Hua. Nora Clancy Casal. Hai Lee Kim. Sonia Kim. Hanlu Lai. Cameron Lieb. Kahuan Ling. Binkai Leo. Colleen McGrath. Victor Nafal. Fumbi Okaya. Dennis Prahar. Ketty Pintrell. Lara Rostamian. Bo Schaefer. Elena Schrebs. Laura Johanna Toivonen. Avi Venjithira. Whitney Westkoff. Sublewonga Jiglitu. Suki Sang. Xing Hui Jian. Ichi Yan. Incha Young. Ya Ching Yao. Xiaobao Chong. Master of Science, Global Health and Amy Luo. Lisette Martinez. Juliet Kasaya McCann. Miyu Nigwa. Sarah Taha. Di Wen Tong. Jonathan Young. Master of Science, Health Data Science. Rawana Ahmed. Shan Gao. Jujing Gao. Saul Holding. Son Moses Kim. Da Shu Vincent Wu. Makan Podar. Nelly Panarul. Karun Rajesh. Benjamin Yutwin Shea. Ji Sun. Han Trong. Anna West. Yuxin Shu. Franklin Young. Routine Young. Master of Science, Social and Behavioral Sciences. Mariko Ando. Asina Budarsaba. George Gashua. Master of Public Health, Joseph Abrams. Yusuf Abu Hamid. Vanessa Acosta. Kate Adams. Shudham Adikagari. Marjam Ahmed. Munira Alisa. Saeed Almasorg. Christina Amuta. Priyanka Anon. Sarushi Anon. Emma Anderson. Alexander Arena. Kalkidan Aseged. Joseph Atarere. Sami Agubram. Alex Acevedo. Clark Asubuke. Ohaswini Bakshi. Andrea Balthasar. Melissa Bartik. Michael Barton. Yakubu Bene Al-Hassan. Caroline Borchuk. Mariana Beo Ray. Hamili Horshad Bhatt. Courtney Blum. Arisi Bonner. Samnath Bose. Elise Baltimore Talbot. Kate Boudreau. Ivan Brandt. Nicole Brathwaite Dingle. Diana Bray. Merida Brimhall. Leslie Brock. Brooke Brody. Jordan Brewhouse. Joshua Amit Budu. Athanasios Burlotos. Elodia Caballero. Alejandra Cantu Aldana. Jessica Lynn Carrickner. Kenzie Weston Carlson. Natalie Carmio. Elizabeth Carosella. Franz Castro. Charmaine Chan. Isaac Chan. Wilson Ventura Chan. Young Chang Wei. Diana Chavez. Natalia Chavez. Mariana Chavez Rodriguez. Elizabeth Chen. Thomas Genting Chen. Genqing Chen. Vivian Cheng. Paul Shudred. Tanat Shimbanchorn. Georgia Christakis. Cindy Shu Wan. Olivia Clark. Crystal Clements. Edward Cliff. Carly Diana Comer. Jordan Corey. Allison Sierra. Pedro Cuna. Aditya Dahiya. Rahul Sanjay Dalal. Marcus Darabi. Smaruki Ria Dash. Naki Dashtenbeck. Diana del Valle. Mobularm Denu. Eliza Dewey. Sarah Bianca Dalunska. Ayo Douglas. Michelle Dressner. Valeria Duarte. Alexandra Jane Edwards. Ahmed El Samam. Samir El Sayed. Melanie Etty. Belaine Ejob. Mario Farinel. Keith Figlioli. Sarah Ann Filson. Zachary Fowler. Beatrice Fracella. Thomas Geisel. Gary Germa Game. Juana Giambachu. Nidhi Gindaljal. Eli Glenn Godwin. Anne Igui. Apurba Gumber. Rodrigo Gonzalez. Madeline Gonti. Niharika Gabaraju. Sophie Greenbaum. Colleen Griffin. James Groves. Borna Gubel. Sid Gugale. Ayush Gupta. Shabnab Gupta. Veronica Handuge. Simon Hassan. Taka Hachimoto. Dean Hayden. Julia Healy. Elena Corey Hemler. Sarah Henkel. Andrew Kwame Opoku Hillman. Batul Hissam. Antoine Pohan Ho. Bethany Holt. Ji Han Hong. Yong Pia Hong. Natasha Hossemeyer Graves. Tina Jingjing Xu. Yu Yang Huang. Paul Panasut Hasajujaban. Fahin Inayatali. Audrey Jackson. Hana Jin. Musha Lakshmi Jingri. Angelica Johnson. Samuel Anthony Johnston. Sharma Emma Joseph. Gargi Suresh Kakani. Hei Min Kong. Cassandra Eller Karpatakis. Sanjana Katera. Sarah Kelly. Ariel Kapinski. Harun Khan. Omar Khan. Su Young Ko. Lisa Kim. Suryon Kim. Carolyn King. Chris Krebs. Alyssa Kumler. Karen Quanning. Kevin Lamb. Frederick Larby Coupon. Kwabina Leite. Katie Lorelai. Allison Dawn Loss. Pedro Luis Iwasaka Nader. Joe Leary. Alex Lebronsky. Aiden Lee. Emma Lingle. Jason Lee. Jessica Lee. Neha Pardeep Limaje. Shi Xuan Lin. Ivy Fanji Lin. Laura Lynn. Ali Liz. Ofer Livne. Christina Long. Jen May Lowe. Mira Isabel Lucas. Lurli Hanye Luo. Kevan Lachman. Nomfuneko Mafunda. Justin Mallet. Tracy Makuveri. Julia Mallet. Felipe Otoni Marcondes. Evelyn Masterson. Natasha Roya Matthews. Juliet Meyer. Brandon McVeigh. Donald McClucken Byrne. Aravind Ayakumar Menon. Boniface Mesa. John Wesley Merriman. Melissa Middledorp. Margaret Moore. Sarah Mogg. Alan Mosafari. Lee Mosesin. Morgan Mulhern. Lindsay Murphy. Kabiru Murtala. Dana Damani. Deepal Nagda. Laura Ng. Ryan Juan Nguyen. Abdoli Nujai. Naana Nkrumah Ababio. Tanawin Napsapun. Elise Norcross. Cornelius Normichi. Deng Nevon. Matthew O'Brien. Sarah O'Connor. Andrew O'Keefe. Isioma Okolo. Shinedu Orgi. Shalewa Oseni. Miski Osman. Sam Paltrow-Kurlich. Mariana Papageorge. Chammi Park. Stefan Pataki. Ashna Patel. Austin Pierre. Hannah Pfeiffer. Elena Petrova. Sun Paikusol. Mano Pijolet. Rachel Plummer. Amy Polverini. Elizabeth Pomerantz. Michelle Price. Rennie Chin. Alyssa Rayboff. Sampreet Ramachandra. Meghna Rahman. Kevin Ransami. Kriti Ravi. Tanitsara Rita Chanrod. Jordan Elizabeth Roberts. Daniel Runick. Gabriela Rosa. Ana Lucia Rosado Valenzuela. Patience Subawara Saka. Katrina Grace Sundung. Nakisa Sadeghi. Rhea Saxena. Divash Sardana. Nathan Sykesby. Nina Ray Sales. Anna Schneider. Jonathan Isaac Schneiderman. Christina Schnitzer. Vinicius Scoops. Joshua Schwartz. Francesco Sergi. Catalina Serna. Sarah Shahaiwa. Kristen Hart Shanahan. Caroline Shannon. Faisa Shaukat. Akira Shimabukuro. Kiran Sidhu. Madison Silver. Lea Sino. Casey Skapek. Jessica Smith. Julia Snyder. Ashley Solomon. Sebastiano Sorbello. Kimia Sururi. Tarek Suaid. Jocelyn Elaine Stairs. Wayne Stevens. Stephanie Sun. Nish Swami. Nicolas Sidigos. Dina Tadros. Sareem Tarjan. Tassin Luwasi Teob. Miriama Tejan. Sunny Thiara. Eve J. Tokumbo. Ryan Alexander Capistrano Toledo. Michaela Torres. Elaine Sao. Kim Buster Turner. Rafia Valji. Radhika Viswanathan. Kian Wade. Rahul Walia. Tiffany Lynn Bell Washington. Priya Watakolson. Alexandra Webby. Robin Way. Ying Wei. Sabrina Wirtz. Gautier Williamson. Stanley Wolf. Marie Wu. Brandon Yang. Rebecca Yang. Yosuke Yoshikawa. Rachel Sachs.
Congratulations, graduates. Now, please move your tassel from the right to the left side of your hat. And congratulations to family and friends. We know you've been with your student throughout this journey, and we thank you for your support. I'm so proud of this accomplished class and of our entire Harvard Chan School community. Congratulations to all. Please join us in the reception immediately following and enjoy your special days. Thank you. And that's it.